it is 12 hours later and she has doubled in size. She looks good. So I'm gonna make bagels. So I'm gonna be able to use her now. And if I wanted to make bread, I would just feed her and then use her for a bread recipe. So I'm gonna make bagels. I'm gonna use her for my recipe now instead of feeding her. We have our starter, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna mix her up until everything is kind of like incorporated. This is what she turned into, like very watery-ish and thick at the bottom. So I'm gonna use her for my bagels upon my sister's request. And yeah, so let me get everything ready and I'm ready to go. What we're gonna need is 365 grams of filtered water, room temperature. 365. All right. Next, we're gonna get our starter and we need 125 grams. Next, what we're gonna do, we're gonna mix. We're gonna wait until it kind of turns into like this milky water. Next is we're gonna use our organic flour, unbleached organic flour, and the amount that we're gonna use is 500 grams. And mix. It should have been mixed like 2 minutes. So after this, we're gonna cover it for 30 minutes and we're gonna put it in a warm space. It's going from being very sticky to being very smooth where you could pull and stretch. So 30 minutes covered in a warm space, and that's where we're gonna add our salt and we're gonna do our stretch and folds. Take our remainder of the sourdough starter and we're gonna put it in a clean jar, and we are going to put her back in the fridge so she could, you know, stop growing and stuff like that. We're gonna take, I'm gonna do 100. I'm going to actually give her a little bit of water. Maybe, I'm gonna start off with 70. All right, 70 grams. And then this one, I'm gonna give her 100 grams of what she weighs. To me, she's a little too thick. She's a little thick. So I'm gonna add just 5 more grams of water. She's good. So I'm going to clean one of these jars and I'm going to put her in the fridge. I don't want to put her in the fridge with her cup looking like this. You can, but it's my preference for it to be in a clean jar so I can watch out for any mold that might happen in the refrigerator, just in case something goes wrong. I could have like a clear eye on her. Cleaned. she's all in there, nice and cozy for her home. For the next time I use her, I'm going to cover her and seal her airtight with my mason jar. There she is. Now she's gonna be in the fridge for maybe 2 weeks. It's been 30 minutes. She's rested in a warm spot. Now we're gonna do 12 grams of salt. And the reason why I put it in a separate little container is because I don't want to accidentally overdo the salt in the dough. Pinch, and we're gonna grab and fold it. It's very sticky, but it's gonna get so much easier as more stretch and folds go. So a stretch and fold is basically you're stretching the dough up and then folding it into itself. Stretch, fold. And you're gonna do that every 30 minutes. Cover it, do it every 30 minutes, pinch salt. So I'm gonna try to add half of the salt in this, and then the next stretch and fold, I'm gonna add the rest. She's mixed with some salt. I have half of the salt left, and you're gonna cover her, put her back in the warm spot. We are now on our second set of stretch and folds. So we're gonna take the salt, the remaining salt, and mix it in there little by little, not once at one time. So we're gonna pinch and stretch and fold. Now she's going to rest for another 30 minutes, and we're gonna do another stretch and fold. This is our last stretch and fold. After this, we're gonna let her rest for an hour to 2 hours until she doubles in size at that warm covered space. After that, we are gonna take her and put her in the fridge where she's gonna be overnight until tomorrow, where we get to bake, or we get to boil and bake the bagels. So last stretch and fold. You could see that she is starting to get bubbly. Here, I'll flip it. Oh no, there was a bubble right there. So she's starting to get bubbly. So I'm going to stretch and fold her. Yeah, she is. Hold on. So right about there, she's beginning to bubble. Last stretch and fold. Here we go. She has sat out for more than 2 hours. I left the house because I forgot about an event. But I left the house at 2 o'clock, and now it is 7:45. So she was supposed to be out for an hour or two. So I'm gonna max it out at 2 hours. She ended up staying 4 hours after that. So yeah, so she has definitely doubled in size. She smells amazing still. She's jiggly, and she is, let's see if she's sticky. She's a little sticky, but now she's gonna go into the refrigerator. She is bubbly though. She's gonna go in the fridge overnight to have a cold bulking fermentation. And then tomorrow morning, we're gonna cook with her, and we're gonna see how she does. So that's where the really stickiness of her should basically go away. So I am basically doing really small press and folds, and I'm gonna cover her up, and actually I'm gonna switch her to a plastic container because I don't want this container to get so cold and it kind of messes up her bulking. So if I have her in a plastic container, it's gonna stay a little bit warmer than it would with her being in metal inside the refrigerator. So I'll switch her over and then I'll see you tomorrow. Take your dough out of the refrigerator, let her drop naturally. In the meantime, let her sit out while you get your oven ready. Preheat it to 425 and then boil some water. And also get a tablespoon of baking soda out and prep it. You're also gonna get parchment paper or a baking sheet and oil it. And then you're also gonna get this. All this should divide into 8 bagels. You're gonna do nice and confident chops, and you're gonna divide this into 8 bagels. So it should be about the same. I eyeball it, but you can get your scale and measure it all at once and then divide that by 8. Flour your clean surface. Put them back on. We're gonna start shaping. All right, so what you're gonna do is you are going to basically fold in all the corners into the middle, making a ball. My husband wants me to try making one that's blueberry. I'm gonna incorporate blueberry into it. And Cooper is gonna help me, he's gonna help me do a cinnamon one that is going to be green.
I'm Cooper right here. I'm Trinity right here.
Yeah. Right here. This one. Little shapes. We're going to take our fingers, make a hole and turn. Make a hole and turn, hole and turn. It's gonna be very heavy. And then you are going to put it on your parchment paper. It's very sticky. I don't know why this recipe says it's not sticky, but it is. Your fingers, put it through, fast with it, and put it down. Now I'm gonna let all of these sit out for about 20 minutes or until they become very puffy. This is what they look like right now. So they are sticky, shaggy, whatever, whatever you call it. So this one is obviously the blueberry one. We'll see how that works out. This is my first time incorporating anything into the bagels. And then the green one is sitting out here. So we'll start off with that one because I'm really interested to see what happens. So I'm gonna give it 25 minutes. Everything is on, everything is boiling. I have to put 1 tablespoon of baking powder into the water. So I'm gonna do that as we get closer to the time. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna put them in the water bath with baking soda, 15 to 20 seconds, 2 at a time. And you're basically flipping them every 5 seconds until you hit 20 seconds. And that's kind of what makes them form, and then you bake them. After that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take 2 of them and I'm gonna put everything bagel seasoning on it because that's how I prefer my bagels, and the other ones are going to be plain. I know you can't see it from this angle, but they're getting very puffy. So that's why we kind of let them sit and wait. So from up here, they look flat, but from here, nice and puffy. This one is actually growing some bubbles right there. And this one somewhere in there. This blueberry is about to pop out, so they're getting nice and full. And that's the main, that one's a bubble right there. So that's the point of letting them sit out. Okay, time's almost up, so we're gonna add our baking soda. It's gonna fizz up. And then once it starts to boil, then that's when we're gonna add in our 2 at a time bagels. So it's in there, the blueberry one. I'm gonna wait until I'm done with this one just to see how it comes out. I don't wanna add any more in there. Moving on to my next 2. These came out very well. The blueberry, I don't think so. We'll see what happens when it bakes. These last 2 that I did, I'm going to put my seasoning on it. You can put as much as you want, as much as you prefer. Now they're in the oven for 25 minutes. So I ended up cutting, because I really wanted to see how bad it was. I ended up cutting inside the green one. It was not bad at all. It's nice and crunchy on the outside and very soft on the inside. So the crunch, you could hear it, but it's very soft on the inside. So I'm gonna cut one for you. I don't wanna cut the blueberry one because that's for my husband. I kind of want him to enjoy that one. So I'm gonna cut one of the plain ones. Okay, I'm gonna cut this one right here. Let's see if you could hear it. I'll bring it closer to me. Here we go. It's still very hot, so. See the steam now. There you go. It was great baking with you guys. I enjoyed it. Next time we're going to be making cinnamon rolls.